Let's pray. Dear gracious Heavenly Father, we thank you for this day. We thank you for the opportunity to once again come and assemble and do the business of the city of Cartersville. Thank you for this holiday season that we enter into today, remembering that Hanukkah starts today, and we ask that holiday would be a wonderful time this year for those celebrating it. Also, thank you for this Christmas season as we look forward to it and the parade tonight. We ask for safety there and that'll be a joyous time to kick off this wonderful holiday season. Thank you for this opportunity again to do the business of the city. Go before us, and may everything that's done and said here glorify you, and it's in your holy name we pray. Amen.
Amen. Please join me in the pledge. I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Ms. Drake, the roll, please.
Carrie Hyde, Ward 1. Jay Stepp, Ward 2.
Here.
Carrie Robb, Ward 3.
Here.
Calvin Cooley, Ward 4.
Here.
Gary Fox, Ward 5.
Here.
Catherine, Ward 6.
Thank you, Julia. First order of business is the approval of our council meeting minutes from November the 16th. Council, you've had an opportunity to look these over. Now would be the opportunity to make any changes to that, and if there are none, a motion's in order.
Motion to approve.
Second.
All in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
And motion carries unanimously. Go ahead and ask council to make a motion to add 3 items. We've already got 29 on the agenda today, but we got 3 more to add, so we're just going to add those in the beginning before I forget.
Motion to add 3 items to the agenda.
Second.
All in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
And motion carries unanimously. Mr. Menino, if you'll get us started with Z23-04.
Thank you, Mayor and Council. This is the second reading of this particular application. It is a proposed rezoning of approximately 3.2 acres from MU, Multiple Use Zoning District, to the RSL, Residential Senior Living Zoning District. It's located over off of Mimosa Lane, where they previously had approximately 6 point something acres approved for residential senior living. This actually is just taking the MU and adding to that development. It has been properly posted and advertised. Appears to be no conflicts of interest. It was reviewed based on the standards for exercise of zoning powers. With that, there have been no additions or changes since the first reading, and Planning Commission did recommend approval of this application.
Okay, thank you. Any questions for Mr. Menino at this point? Thank you. I'll open up a public hearing for Z23-04 and ask anybody wishing to step forward to speak for or against to do so at this time.
Good morning, Brandon Bowen, 15 South Public Square, Cartersville. Happy to be here with you again. I know you've got a long agenda, so I'm going to reserve my comments except for rebuttal. There's not been any changes on our end since the last council meeting.
Thank you. Any questions for Mr. Bowen at this time regarding this application? Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Again, we'll continue the public hearing for Z23-04, and again, ask anybody wishing to step forward to speak for or against to do so at this time. And if you would, sir, please kindly your name and your address for our clerk, please.
Tim Garnto, 41 David Road, Cartersville, Georgia. I'm not against the project. I'm just a neighboring landowner on the south side. We do get a good bit of runoff from that property now. It may engineer itself out as things go along, but I just want to be on the record as my concern about what could be or could potentially still be a problem down the road. Also, Mimosa Lane is very narrow in that curve. There's a power pole about 2 foot off the side, the south side. North side is a very steep ditch. That road does not curve very well. People wait for people to go by now. With more traffic being put on that road, hopefully that would be engineered out in the process and not be a problem down the road. Thank you.
Thank you for your comments, sir. Again, anyone else wishing to speak on project Z23-04, now would be the time to do so. And seeing none, I'll close the public hearing for Z23-04, and I'll turn it over to council for further discussion, questions, or consideration.
Do they have any comment about the Mimosa line? The developer, is that relevant?
If you have a question for the developer, we can.
Does the developer have that road is narrow? Do they have plan to make any improvements there?
I don't think there are currently plans to make improvements. I will say this is, Kevin Stevenson is doing the engineer on this project. He's a very competent, qualified engineer. And so if there's anything that needs to be addressed to come into compliance with the city's codes, then he'll do so.
And the entrance, though, is not on Mimosa, right?
No.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you.
Any other questions or discussion? We'll just sit here in uncomfortable silence if nobody wants to make a motion.
Motion to approve.
Second.
All in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
The motion carries unanimously. Sorry, I guess I was the one holding up the process there. We've got a series of first readings of ordinances that we won't vote on this time around, but we'll certainly get it brought to council and for consideration at our next meeting. And Mr. Menino, if you'll get us started off with the adult entertainment ordinance changes.
Thank you again, Mayor and Council. Mr. Lovell couldn't be here this morning, and so I'm stepping in for him on the work he did on this. He made amendments, adds findings, studies, and definitions to the adult entertainment section of the ordinance to correspond with the previous moratorium that was going on. Members of my staff and the police department have reviewed the reports and data provided to us, and we concur with the concerns of the inverse impacts, and with that, we do recommend approval of the proposed ordinance that was amended.
And our second reading will be on December 21st, and our current moratorium ends on December 31st.
Okay. Any questions or discussion on this? Thank you, sir. Again, first reading of an ordinance, and as Mr. Porta pointed out, we'll take this up for final consideration on our meeting on December 21st. So we'll move on to the next item, pouring license requirements.
This goes along with the previous ordinance amendment. This one, though, is part of the alcohol ordinance. With that, it provides and defines uses not allowed under the specialty shop classification within the alcohol ordinance that allows specialty shops to have pouring licenses. With that, Keith has added several uses that would be pulled from that and not allowed, and staff does concur and recommend approval of this.
Thank you. Questions for Randy on this ordinance change? Thank you. And I'll guys telegraph exactly what the purpose of this is, and certainly everybody on council is well aware of the negative feedback we got regarding the establishment of a business downtown some months ago, and of course council did what took quick action and put out a moratorium. These two ordinances seek to prevent another business of this type from locating into downtown Cartersville. It does not impact the existing business that is there, but it certainly it basically limits the possibility, or I guess eliminates the possibility of there being another one of its type. Mr. Porter, you have the next item.
Yes, Mayor, it's employee benefits. Currently this year we've been working on updating our employee handbook, which has been needed to be done for many years. But the employee benefits ordinance will basically rescind all those existing ordinances that are drafted, so we're not duplicating that. And going forward, when we adopt this ordinance, the employee handbook will take precedent. If there's any major changes, it'll come back to council for approval with the resolution. Otherwise, it's up to the city manager to make minor changes within the employee handbook that we've been working on to finalize.
Okay. Thank you. Any discussion or questions on that? My only comment will be is that book has been a project for about 15, 20 years, so thank you for getting us across the finish line in breakneck speed. We'll move on to second reading of ordinances, which we will vote on today, and Mr. Porter, you have the first one there.
Yes, sir. It's an amendment to the Georgia State Minimum Standard Plumbing Code. We've discussed this as the new requirements coming down from the Metropolitan North Georgia Water Planning District Governing Board. Without us adopting this, when we go through the new permit or renewal of our permit next year and we don't have these standards in place, it's going to impact us, so I recommend approval of this change to the ordinance.
Okay, thank you. Questions, comments, or motions?
Motion to approve. Second.
All in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion carries unanimously. Mr. Reinhardt, you are up next with the fiscal year 2023 budget ordinance amendment.
Yes, Honorable Mayor and Council, this is, as you said, the second reading of this ordinance. This again is to amend the fiscal year 2023 budget. There have been no changes since the first reading. After completion of the fiscal year 2023, the general fund, special revenue funds, and SPOS fund budgets need to be amended. This amendment will bring basically our accounting standards back into GAAP, generally accepted accounting principles standards. I recommend approval of the fiscal 2023 budget amendment as presented.
Thank you. And I don't care what Wade says, you're always bringing us good news.
I try.
I can't. You guys can hug that out, after those comments in the work session, but I don't know. Is there any discussion on this item before council? If not, a motion's in order.
Motion to approve.
Second.
All in favor indicate by saying aye. Aye. And motion carries unanimously. Thank you. Ms. Drake, you've got the next item.
Yes, so Bartow County Board of Elections has provided us with the certified election results, and it's to be brought before mayor and council for approval.
Thank you. Questions, comments, or motions?
Motion to approve.
Second.
All in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion carries unanimously. Mr. Wilson, you've got the next few here.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor and Council. First item we have is Terrell Heights stormwater project. We're going to self-perform portions of Phase 1, and in order to do so, we need to buy materials. We got 3 bids. The lowest bidder, or the most complete bid that we received for these materials was Foley Products at a price of $53,300.06. We're requesting the opportunity or the ability to purchase from Foley.
Okay. Thank you. Any discussion? If not, a motion's in order.
Mr. Mayor, can I say one thing? I forgot to mention
That's
that
your meeting. Go ahead.
this does qualify for ARPA funding, because we will be paying through ARPA, and it has been determined to help manage, reduce, and recapture stormwater. Sorry, I had to say that.
You warned me you had to say that in the work session. That's
Yeah.
totally on me. Thank you. All right. That being said, any other comments, or if not, a motion's in order?
Motion to approve.
Second.
All in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion carries unanimously.
All right, next one, local maintenance improvement contract, grant contract. This is our resurfacing project this year. We have several different streets throughout the city. We actually are requesting to resurface 5.72 miles of city streets. We did receive 7 bids for this, and the lowest bidder for this resurfacing contract was Bartow Paving at a price of $1,260,375.92. This is over budget, but our $311,688.40 will come out of our local maintenance improvement grant from the state of Georgia. We have budgeted $464,311.60 through our general fund, which, because the millage rate was kept the same, we were anticipating being able to pave more streets. So that number does encompass that out of our general fund. And then we also have $300,000 out of SPOS. That's what was budgeted for the year. However, we were requesting an additional $200,000 out of the 2020 SPOS in order to keep our life cycle of 25 years, resurfacing every 25 years. The prices did come back significantly over what they were last year. So, but we are requesting that the mayor be able to sign the resurfacing contract with Bartow Paving for $1,260,375.92, and that will be our standard resurfacing contract that we use.
And thank you for making note of that in your presentation. If you remember back when we did not roll back, we told the public we were going to use those additional funds for the architecture for Fire Station 5, and the rest of that was going to go towards paving, and that is encompassed in this. So, again, thank you for noting that. And if there's no other discussion, a motion is in order.
Wade mentioned a total amount, but we wanted to just go ahead and make it not to exceed 1.3 million in case there's some extra costs?
Yeah, quite often, sometimes we have to adjust quantities based on deep patching and things like that. Usually it's not as big an issue on the smaller contracts, but this year is quite larger than what we typically use, so we just wanted to have a little bit of buffer there just in case.
Okay.
So it was for 1.3, not to exceed 1.3 million.
If council desires, that would need to be included in the motion.
I make a motion to approve the contract not to exceed 1.3 million.
Second.
All in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion carries unanimously. Thank you. Last one for you, Wade.
Thank you. Yes, the last one is in relation to the Grassdale Road sidewalk project. That project is going forward. It's on schedule. One of the items we have to do is do a Georgia Power utility relocation agreement. This agreement from Georgia Power, we didn't originally think it was going to be reimbursed. Now it looks like the state of Georgia has programmed monies for that, so it looks like we will get at least an 80% reimbursement. The contract with Georgia Power is for not to exceed $190,105. And once again, we'll get 80% reimbursement. And we are splitting, since this is a city-county project, we will split that 20% with Bartow County. They have approved their end already, so we just need to approve our side of it. And we're just requesting the mayor's signature to that contract, or to that agreement.
Okay. Thank you. Questions, comments, or motions?
Make a motion to approve.
Second.
All in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
The motion carries unanimously.
Thank you.
Mr. Port, thank you, Wade. Next couple of yours, Mr. Porta.
Yes, sir. The 90-degree Benefits have been providing our third-party administration for our dental insurance, which we're self-insured since 2004. This year, they're recommending continue on their price of $4.20 per employee per month rate. It's a 2-year agreement. I recommend approval of this agreement.
Thank you. Any discussion? If not, a motion's in order.
Motion to approve. Second.
All in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion carries unanimously. Next item.
Yes, sir. This is the 6th amendment to the purchase of the 178 West Main Street by Womack Brothers LLC under the name of City Overlook Cartersville LLC. Mr. Womack's here this morning, but basically he's asked for extension to closing date till February 2nd, 2024. He's been moving along in this project. You can see some renderings there, but I do recommend approval of that, but Mr. Womack can cut up and kind of let council know where he's at in this process.
Okay.
Matt Womack, 716 West Avenue. Mr. Mayor, Council, I just wanted to give you kind of an update. I mean, really, so the architectural plans are moving along. The civil drawings are actually, everything is approved but the electrical. And I'm meeting with Clifton Blaylock today or tomorrow to try to finalize that. That actually will require me to move one of the buildings a little bit. So that is really the only thing I'm waiting on to get approval for the civil drawings. As y'all know, these things, obviously, there's a lot of moving parts, and so I just want to make sure that y'all know I'm as committed as ever to making this work. I'm very excited about it. I actually asked the sales agents to come this morning. They had previous engagements that they couldn't make it, but basically just wanted to answer any questions that you guys may have. But I appreciate the continued support, and looking forward to making this happen.
Okay.
I had a couple of questions.
Yeah.
And I'll ask them both. The first is, what do you expect the exterior finishes to be? You know, brick, stucco.
Brick.
whatever. And
It's
second-
all brick.
And
All
second-
brick except for the rooftop terraces in those because of weight. Obviously, we're going to do siding in there, but I mean, other than that, it's 4 sides brick.
Okay. Do you anticipate closing sooner than the February 8th date?
No.
If you get the approvals?
Well, I say that. It depends. I would not anticipate that. But I do think, I mean, I could have told you back in September that I would need a number of extensions. But I can honestly say, given the progress that we've made, that I think February will be a totally realistic date to close.
Okay.
Okay. Any other questions? Thank you, sir.
Yeah.
Appreciate it. All right, council, you have before you the amendment to the purchase and sale contract up for consideration.
We need, go ahead, I'm sorry,
Okay.
I'm in mom for
I make a motion to approve the amendment.
Second.
All in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
And motion carries unanimously. Mr. Morgan, you've got the next item, sir.
I need more coffee.
Good morning, Mr. Mayor and Council. Bring before you the First Amendment to the Cartersville Municipal Court Judges Contract. This amendment is based off of the fact that we're doing court twice a day on the Mondays that we have court. The judges have agreed to an amount here that would compensate them fairly for the additional work that they're doing. I'm asking for approval for that, please.
Thank you. Questions, comments, or motions?
Motion to approve. Second.
All in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion carries unanimously.
Thank
Thank you,
you.
sir. Mr. Greer, you have the next set here.
Good morning, Mayor and Council. This first item is a grant acceptance. Back in January, we applied for a $75,000 grant from Homeland Security to be spent on cybersecurity products. We ask that council approve and mayor to sign the resolution authorizing.
Is this, and I should have asked this in the work session, is this moving forward, or is this stuff we've already sent, now it's reimbursable?
We've got approval of the grant at this point in time.
Yeah.
He's not purchased any of the items.
Okay.
Oh, no, haven't purchased anything. It's just the
But I
approval.
do want to recommend and thank Stephen for reaching out to this as part of the process. He actually saw this grant come in and applied for it, didn't even use the grant writers of the Bartow County, and actually they applied for a grant as well, but we got more money than they did.
Well, that's good. All right, thank you. If there are any other questions or comments, if not, a motion.
Motion to approve.
Second.
All in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion carries unanimously. Next item, please.
Which one's next?
Cogsdale.
All right. Cogsdale, this is the annual support agreement for Cogsdale Software. This is our utility billing software vendor. Invoices for $115,544.65, and this is a sole source vendor, and it's a budgeted item, and we recommend it for your approval.
Thank you. Questions, comments, or motions?
Make a motion to approve.
Second.
All in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion carries unanimously. Next item, Barracuda.
This is another yearly support renewal, and this is our email archive that we use to retain all of our email messages. So the amount is $11,508 from Converge Technology Solutions, and this is a budgeted item, and I recommend this for your approval.
Thank you. Any discussion? If not, a motion.
Make a motion to approve.
Second.
All in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion carries unanimously. Fiber pathway installation at Q-Cells.
Yes, sir. This is the second phase of our build to Q-Cells to serve internet to their facility at 751 Great Valley Parkway. The quote is $19,366.93 from NCI, which is our contractor. It's not a budgeted item, but it'll be funded by the 2020 SPLOST, and we recommend this for your approval.
Thank you. Questions, comments, or motions?
Make a motion to approve.
Second.
All in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
The motion carries unanimously.
Thank you.
Thank you, Stephen. Mr. Morgan, you're back for more.
Yes, sir. This is the quarterly invoice for the pension fund investment advisor. What we pay Siegel Marco out of the pension fund, it is for $18,000. I'm asking for approval for that, please.
All right, any discussion? If not, a motion.
Make a motion to approve.
Second.
All in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
And that motion carries. And Freddie, while you're up there, one of those added items from earlier was the quarterly radio invoice from Bartow County. If
Yes,
you
sir.
would
Yes,
present
sir.
that for us right now.
Yes, sir. The third quarter 2023 invoice from Bartow County for the radio system that we share, police and fire and gas and utilities use, is for $37,150.83. We're asking for approval to pay that to Bartow County.
Thank you. Questions, comments, or motions?
Make a motion to approve.
Got a motion over here? Would
I'll
you-
second.
Got a second? All in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion
Thank you.
carries unanimously. Thank you, sir. Mr. Hampton, you got the next few. Welcome.
Good morning, Mayor and Council.
morning.
First item was the request to purchase a transformer. This transformer would be used for the new number 5 fire station going out at Carter Grove. That is actually a photo from the one out at Charlie Harper. I forget the number, I guess.
That's 3.
Number 3. So, but for reference, it's the same size, so it'll be the same size transformer. We did go out and get 3 bids for this. We were requesting to purchase a unit from Gresco. They were the lowest cost and had the unit in stock, so we could get it immediately. It's a budgeted expense for $17,200. We request your approval.
Thank you. Any questions? If not, a motion.
Motion to approve?
Second.
All in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion carries unanimously. Continue on, Derek.
Yes, sir. I believe the next one is,
The mini
yes,
excavator.
Yanmar. We're seeking your approval to purchase a replacement for a 2006 VIO 45 model Yanmar excavator. It's kind of reached the end of its useful life. It's been very reliable over the years. We like their brand. We stick with them so we can interchange our attachments. The vendor in this area is out of Marietta, called Vermeer Southeast Sales and Service. They came in at a quote of $84,000. It's a budgeted expense.
Thank you. Any discussion? If not, a motion's in order.
Motion to approve.
Second.
All in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion carries unanimously. Construction trailer invoice.
Yes, sir. As part of our building renovation project, we were unhoused. Freddie likes that better. We were unhoused momentarily while the building's being renovated. We rented a construction trailer to put our construction crews in. Needed to stay there with the materials and the trucks and everything. This invoice is not a normal invoice we'll get for monthly rent because it has deposits and installation and delivery charges, a bunch of one-time charges on the first one, which pushed it over the limit. We're renting it from a company called Wilscott, and the amount is $8,242.76, and 76 cents. And we are requesting your approval. The funds will be paid out of our construction costs for the renovation project.
Okay. Thank you. Any questions? If not, a motion's in order.
Motion to approve.
Second.
All in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion
Thank you.
carries unanimously. Thank you,
Appreciate
Derek. Mr. Roberts.
Good morning. Parks and Recreation is seeking the approval of the RFP from Bartow Fence for $108,000, or $108,506.04. The RFP opened October 24th. We did receive 2 RFPs, one from Bartow Fence and another one from Howe Fence from Alabama. Bartow was the lowest and best bid, in the amount of $86,000 for the backstop wall and $22,492 for, for the fence was $86,000 and $22,492 was for the brick wall. This is to update. That fence is very old. It will have the same brick wall and look as Rudy York Field at Hicks, which we did last year. So, and trying to make that look better. So,
Does that conclude, or is that we just going to do one each?
yeah, this is just this is the second one actually.
Yeah.
I mean, there's going to be, we'll probably look at throughout there. I don't know if we'll go to that extent for every field out there, but.
Okay. Thank you.
So we're looking for approval for $108,506.04. That scope of work would be installing the brick wall, new poles, and fencing for the entire field.
Perfect. Thank you. Questions for Steve on this? And if not, a motion's in order.
Motion to approve.
Second.
All in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion carries unanimously. Thank you. Chief Champion, you're up next.
Good morning, Mayor and Council. This first item is for e-tools, traditionally known as the Jaws of Life. We seek bids from the only single source provider in the state, Municipal Emergency Services, for 2 sets of these tools to replace when the 2 new engines come in the spring, for a total of $87,199.58. This is a 14% increase since the tools we bought in '21. And we see more increases coming, so we're trying to beat that increase by the first of the year. These will be funded through general funds become available.
Thank you. Questions for Chief? If not, a motion's in order.
Second.
All in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion carries unanimously. Thank you. Next item.
Second item is loose equipment purchase. We put out bids to 4 different vendors. All those vendors came back with prices. We're looking at the lowest bid at $86,927.05. There's a list of equipment that will be added on that. but it's to outfit those 2 new engines in the spring as well. And these items will also be paid through general fund within budget and reimbursed through 2020 SPLOST as they become available.
Thank you. Questions, comments, or motions?
Make a motion to approve the purchase.
Second.
All in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion carries unanimously.
Last item, this is considered a RIT pack. We put out bids to the 2 only vendors we have in the state for Scott Air Packs. This is considered a RIT Pack 3. This is what we use to rescue a downed firefighter and provide additional air to them to get them out of a structure in the midst of an emergency or whatever it may be. We're requesting purchase of 2 of these as well to go on those 2 new apparatus in the spring for a total of low bid $9,642. And this is through American Safety and Firehouse. They're also within budget and general fund purchases and reimbursed through 2020 SPLOST as they become available.
Thank you. Any discussion? If not, a motion.
Make a motion to approve the purchase.
Second.
All in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Thank you.
Motion carries unanimously. Thank you. Mr. Forsyth.
Good morning, Mr. Mayor,
Good
Council. The first item is altitude valve installation. This is required. This will be required in order to push enough water to the farthest points of our system to serve new industry. We'll have to raise the pressure inside the city, which would cause our 2 tanks in the city to overflow. These valves, altitude valves, keep that from happening. We received bids for that, with the lowest bid being from C.H. Kirkpatrick and Sons for $576,765.30. They are, this is a budgeted item recommended for your approval.
Thank you. Any discussion? If there's not, a motion is in order.
Motion to approve.
Second.
All in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion carries unanimously.
Yes, sir. The next item is the 2024 bulk chemical purchase blanket purchase order. We received bids from numerous chemical providers for our water treatment and wastewater treatment plants. We are recommending the lowest bid from each vendor, and the prices will be held through October 31st of 2024. It's recommended for your approval. This is your budgeted expense.
Okay, thank you. Any discussion? If not, a motion is in order.
Make a motion to approve.
Second.
All in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion carries unanimously. And final item for you, sir.
Yes, sir. This is a change order for the lagoon dredging project. This is a change order requested by the Water Department as this is the final bond-funded project for the 2018 revenue bond issue. This will essentially expend those funds for an additional $669,920. It will increase the amount of sludge removed from that pond by 5,000 wet tons to a total of 20,056 wet tons, and bring the final project cost to $3,369,220. Additionally, adding 120 contract days to this contract.
Thank you. Any questions for Sydney on this item? And if there are none, motions in order.
Make a motion to approve.
Second.
All in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion carries unanimously. Thank you, sir. We do have those other 2 of the 3 added items. Mr. Menino, if you'll start us off with the appointment to the Alcohol Control Board.
Yes, thank you, Mayor and Council. As you had noted, there is appointment for the Alcohol Control Board. There is a vacancy for the Ward 2 appointee, and Melissa Bell is recommended for that position.
Thank you. Questions, comments, or motions?
Motion to approve.
Second.
All in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion carries unanimously. And Mr. Bagley, to step forward on the other side of the camera for a change.
That's right. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. First, I do want to say thanks to Mayor and Council for your support and involvement in the rebranding project and getting us to the soft launch that we were able to do at the State of the City event. So thank you. Today, we're requesting approval to purchase tumblers, which include our new city branding. We did receive 3 bids from both local and outside vendors. We would like to move forward with the best quote from Parsons Kellogg LLC with a price of $19,800. This is for 600 Yeti tumblers, which will be utilized as employee appreciation gifts as well as promotional inventory throughout the branding process.
Thank you. Any discussion on this item? If there's none, a motion's in order.
Motion to approve?
Second.
All in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion carries unanimously. Is there any other business that needs to come before council?
I got a question just for Dan or Freddie, or for the mayor.
You can ask anything. Go ahead.
So a couple times I heard 2020 SPOS money being pulled to use. How do we stand on Dothert Ferry and right of way? Are we gonna have any money?
No, we're setting,
No,
we've
we're
set
not
us,
No, we're not gonna have money.
we
Okay.
have set aside that pot of money. Now, if it comes in a whole lot higher, but no, we have set aside, legally, we have to set aside what we budget was 9 million, I think is the number, and for that, for the right of way. And then we also funded additional right of way improvements, out of the 2020 SPOS. But no, we've set that aside. But there's other projects like AMI that we put a little over 2 million in there. If we can pay for those out of the utilities, then that frees up the SPOS money. That's why I'm trying to make sure that we have enough there for the Dothert Ferry. Also, we're looking at the right-of-way acquisition costs probably stretching to 2026, so may stretch into next.
Well, that was my next question was, hey, like, where are we? Not there yet.
We're not there yet. We're
Got it.
on a slow-moving train, and it's it's slowly picking up speed. That's the best I can describe
Okay.
it.
Well, thank you.
Thank you. Councilman Fox, I'll give you the floor. It's a big night in our community.
Yes, I would encourage everyone to come down to the Christmas parade tonight. And if you go through town today, you'll already see chairs out there. So the sooner you get there, the better.
That's right. And that is put on by the Cartersville Exchange Club,
That's
of which
correct.
you're a member.
The most important civic club in this county.
We'll settle that later.
Tonight.
Yeah, for today, we'll let you be right on that. But again, it is a fundraiser. It's a signature event for our entire community. And so thank you to you and the entire, really a big deal around here. So thank you for your efforts on that. Anything else that needs to come before council?
I'd just like to give my compliment to the city manager, Dan Porta, and his State of the City breakfast. I think went really well, and I appreciate all the hard work and the preparation that was done there for that presentation. So, in that update, thank you.
Guess that excludes me. Just kidding.
I let you.
Kidding.
I let you teach your own horn. So.
I guess I just unintentionally did. I will mention, again, the parade. A thank you in advance to our public works folks who will be out most of the night cleaning up the mess that some people choose to leave behind, although there's really no excuse for that. That's maybe a topic for another day. And of course, to our public safety folks who will be working throughout the process this evening as well. So that being said, anything else before council? Mr. Archer, it's a pleasure to have you with us.
This is one of the meetings I've ever been to.
It certainly is. That being said, Chair will entertain a motion to adjourn.